What did Kirby Smart just say about Ellis Robinson? That's what we're talking about in today's video. Kirby spoke with reporters this week about Ellis Robinson, the defensive backs creating turnovers, and so much more. So we're going to dig into that in today's video. Of course, Ellis Robinson, the second-year player who was an elite prospect out of high school, right? He was the #2 overall prospect in America. Georgia fans have been patiently waiting to see him play in a significant way. Played a little bit last year as a freshman, but with Dalen Everett out with an ankle injury that isn't too significant. I think we'll see him this upcoming weekend against Austin Peay. We'll definitely see him against Tennessee. But with him being very limited, Ellis Robinson got a lot of playing time against Marshall. He looked fast. He looked like he, knew the system, knew what he was doing. He plays hard. And it was good to see him out there because the talent is very easy to see. And that's what Kirby Smart had to say this week. But in general, there's still a lot to improve on. He's very talented. Everyone knows that. But Kirby Smart said, there's still stuff that he has to work on, but he's getting better and better and better. Here's what he had to say. Of course, you could read all of this over on Dawg Post, by the way, for free. There's not a lot of free out there. You can read this story and more for free. But he said, quote, he's improved his stamina first and foremost. He can finish practices and get through practice and keep up. The pace of practice is really high, so his ability to maintain that, compete in the realm of receivers play after play and play in fastball circumstances, he's done a good job of doing that. He's always been very talented at covering people. There's so much more that goes into it, into playing defensive backs, playing corners specifically, than just being able to cover people in terms of zones, checks, eyes, motion adjustments. He's bought into that. He said, you know what, that's important. That's something keeping me off the field that I want to work on. His communication, his understanding of the defense has been really good. Tackling and physicality is always important at cornerback, and he's a guy that's not afraid of that. He has to play on big blocks a lot of times, and he's not afraid of contact. So he can hold his own against those screen and short passes. And he can get off those blocks and make plays. But I think his one tackle against Marshall, it was in a half tackle for loss, came on a corner blitz where he made a nice play on the ball carrier. But the length, the natural athleticism, that's all there. There's a reason he's the #2 overall prospect, #1 DB, I believe, in the country in that 24 class. And Georgia does play a lot of freshmen, so I think a lot of people expected him to play more last year, but he's almost there, and then the light is clicking for him. It's, he's starting to really be comfortable with the mechanics, the fundamentals, the eye candy that the offense is bringing to the table, just kind of understanding what's real, what's not, looking at the quarterback, looking at the receiver, the fluid hips, the footwork, all of it. There's so much that goes into it, but I do think we are going to see Ellis Robinson more and more. Here's what Kirby Smart had to say in general about the defensive backs. He said, we talked a long time about process over results, and that's probably the message that goes to everyone, not really just the defensive backs. Did they do the process? Were their eyes in the right spot? Did they play with the correct leverage? Did they play with the right technique? There's a lot of those things that we didn't do right against Marshall. The results were fine. They knew the process needed to be right. We're really trying to hone in on that and not the results. It doesn't matter how it comes out. It matters, did you go and do it the right way? We didn't do a lot of that in positions in terms of process. So a lot of coach speak there, but he's basically saying just do what we're coaching you to do. The results will be there, but making sure you're doing things the right way. That's how you're going to get on the field. It's the little things, it's the details. And for Ellis Robinson, it was the stamina, getting through practice, playing with that passion, fire, and energy that he wants out of all of his players, right? It seems like once he started to bring that to the table and continue to work on his practice habits and learning to become more instinctual, knowing exactly what to do, that's going to get him on the field because, again, the talent, the ball skills, the length, he's got all that. So when he does see the field more consistently, I think he's only going to improve. He talked a lot about the safeties as well. A lot of different safeties were out there. Obviously starts with KJ Bolden, but Zion Branch, who transferred in with his brother Zachariah. It was a big day for the Branch brothers. He led the team in tackles with 7, so he was flying all over the place. It's another group that's really important in Georgia's scheme and what they do. Those guys are asked to do a lot. And so, of course, Kirby's out here saying, hey, they've got to get better, but there's options. Here's what he had to say about the safety play against Marshall. He said those 5 guys that played back there did a nice job. They continue to improve. They didn't get tested probably as much as they get tested in practice. Like I told you guys, there's a bunch of opportunities to get better, and one of them is today. Those guys will go out and compete and continue to develop and get better by the drills we put them in and the competition that they have Saturday. They did what they were supposed to do. That quote right there should be, something Georgia fans should be excited about. They did what they were supposed to do. They're taking to the coaching, and this coaching staff knows exactly what they're doing and how to be effective, especially at the safety position. But yeah, Zion Branch was all over the place. KJ Bolden blocking punts on special teams, always doing his job. On defense, Danilo Aguero stepping up. We saw a lot of Ja'Cory Thomas, and we saw a lot from, the younger crew late in games getting in there. Rashawn Dinkins was in there. He's a freshman. I don't know. Kyron Jones has been out there. He's playing a lot. So they definitely let a lot of guys get some opportunities to make plays. And Kyron Jones is out there with a club on. We got a great photo of him playing with one hand and a club. But that's another guy that the staff is really high on as far as someone who plays the right way, plays really hard. So it does seem like the defensive backs are getting better and they are improving. They better improve and continue to develop quickly because Tennessee is in 2 weeks and they are going to test Georgia's secondary. They're going to test the entire defense, but they are going to push the ball down the field. There's those timing routes where they can get on the same page, and it can kind of be a snowball effect for a defense if they're not, playing properly and in the position that they need to be. Those timing routes can really pick apart a defense. So there's a lot of guys who have a big opportunity in front of them. They have to be as ready as possible when they go to Knoxville because that kid they've got, it looks like they upgraded at quarterback. That kid can sling it. He throws with some zip, and they've got weapons. They've got a lot of receivers who can make plays, especially down the field. So Georgia's secondary is going to be tested, and Kirby Smart knows that. He wants to see even more improvement from Austin Peay. So kind of a warm-up exhibition. We'll see how he schemes those guys to get them ready. They got one more game before it's SEC play. We'll see if he lets those guys loose and do different things against Austin Peay that maybe we didn't see against Marshall. At the end of the day, he wants to see more turnovers. That's something that he said, I believe, after the game and during his press conference this week to the reporters. That's got to come, but 3 and outs aren't bad, and playing outstanding defense, not giving up 7 points until the end of the ballgame. That's all pretty good, but still, turnovers matter. Here's what he had to say about that. He said it's critical and it's really important. Just haven't found a way to be dominant at it. I don't know whether it affects us, whether teams protect the ball better against us, take less chances, or we just don't get them out. It's not something we don't preach and sell and attack and try to do. Historically, at least since we've been here, we have not been elite at that. It's one of the things that popped out to us the other day defensively, that we didn't have as many opportunities in 55 plays, but we didn't take advantage of the ones that we had. So, and he's talking about the batted balls that go up in the air, stuff that it's not necessarily a mistake on the quarterback throwing into, coverage or a defensive back making a big play on the ball. It's the opportunities that present themselves from maybe a busted play or a ball being tipped up in the air where anyone can kind of go get it, right? But again, when you're forcing a lot of 3 and outs and you're not giving up many first downs, your defense isn't out there very much. And when they're not out there, they can't create turnovers. But that's what they're going to need against the big boys. Up in Tennessee, they're going to have to force a key turnover or 2 because, again, that group is solid and you're not going to keep them off the scoreboard the entire game. I know Georgia historically plays really good defense against that Tennessee offense that really struggles against Kirby Smart and Glenn Schumann. I mean, year after year, they're losing by double digits to the Dogs, and their potent offense is not so potent when they play that Georgia defense. So it does seem, the coaching staff knows what they're doing. They know the scheme. They know what it takes to play winning, consistent football and beat those types of offenses, right? They know how to do it defensively. So it's about taking the coaching. Ellis Robinson, Daniel Harris, all those safeties, all those guys can improve in the back end. And Ellis Robinson is one who definitely has enough talent to be one of the best corners, not only in the SEC, but across college football, if he works on the little things and the details and then just can continue to improve in a lot of areas. But if he does, he has a chance to be a major weapon for Georgia in the secondary, and they're going to need him against all these teams, especially at home when a turnover can be a game-changing play. Kirby Smart wants more turnovers. He wants improved play from the secondary, and we'll see if we get it against Austin Peay this week. They got a big one in 2 weeks. Got to get better this Saturday. But that's what Kirby Smart had to say about one of his players that Georgia fans definitely want to see more of. They're excited about him. I get it. We'll see how much he plays and if he can create a turnover this upcoming weekend. Thanks for watching. You can read more about this over on Dawg Post. Sign up to our free newsletter. Take advantage of that great deal we have going on right now. So thanks for watching. Hope you learned something. I'll see you over on the website.